Hello, all. Welcome to Public Cloud Design Tips and Tricks again. As a part of Azure Security, this is the second part of Azure Security session, and we'll also continue with further sessions on Azure Security. And the problem statement is same again. What are the practices available in Azure Cloud to secure the ecosystem? And as a part of Azure Security, I have already explained in my previous session that we'll be covering six areas basically. So application storage and networks, operations, compute, and identity. And in these sessions, I will try to cover the operations area more from a Azure security perspective. Responsibility metrics we already have discussed in the previous session. So let's start with cloud operations actually as a part of this session within Azure security umbrella. So let's start with Sentinel. So Sentinel is a managed service from Microsoft Azure, and that deals with security analytics or intelligence, security orchestration automation. Okay, so it is a magnifier across the organization. So when I say magnifier, it's a security magnifier, or what are the security malfunctions or events those are happening across the organization, and it deals with attack detection, threat visibility, proactive hunting, and with that a response mechanism. Okay, so if you see the Sentinel space, it majorly covers four areas like collect, detect, investigate, and response. So what is collect? It collects across devices, users, applications, and from all platforms. So it collects the data from all these area basically. And when it comes to detect, it removes false positive and to perform continuous threat intelligence. What is a false positive? For example, let's say even within the organizations, let's say specific IP which is giving request, or the requests are coming more often from that particular IP. So that's a false positive, and we should be aware of the cause of this actually. So that is kind of a detect. So it removes false positives and to perform continuous threat intelligence on that. And then come to response. So based on an event basically, or based on some data collections, it has a response mechanism. So response to an event with various output mechanism, and also investigate. So thorough detection of any suspicious activities within your organization from these areas actually. Okay, so that is all about Sentinel. Now there are certain steps involved in a Sentinel life cycle basically. So first one is the data collection. So how to collect those data from different sources by using connectors. So there are inbuilt connectors available within Azure on the Sentinel space basically. So let's discuss few of them. The first one is Microsoft 365 Defender connector. Yeah, that is a service to service connector. So there are different kind of connectors available, and these are more a service to service connector. And what it does, it integrates data from Office 365, Azure Active Directory, Microsoft Defender for identity, and Microsoft Defender for cloud apps. So from these are the areas. This it collects the data basically. And the second one is for non-Microsoft based integration. So syslogs, common event format, or REST APIs to connect data sources with Microsoft Sentinel. So this non-Microsoft based integration will be responsible to collect data from other sources other than Microsoft using these techniques. The Microsoft Sentinel agent, again, it's an agent-based approach, which is actually the log analytics agent converts CEF formatted logs into a format that log analytics can digest, or can take basically, or can ingest, you can say. Now, how to enable a data connector? So once you have a data connector, you have to enable it. So Microsoft Sentinel, in the left pane of the portal, if you go, it provides a list of connectors, and once you select a connector, then it also asks you to fill all the prerequisites described. So what a prerequisites, for example, the authentication mechanism to connect to a source basically, that could be a prerequisite. So you will be asked for different prerequisites once you have chosen a connector. Okay, now once you have done that, you have user defined queries you can create. You can create workbooks or analytics rules to get the data based on your requirement. Okay, so it means once you connect to a source system, then you can query yourself, or create a workbook to define different consecutive flows basically, and you can also compose some analytics rule to get the required data from that source. Now, you can also enabling a data connector through REST API integration. Okay, so HTTP data collector API can be used by the provider to push the data into Microsoft Monitor API. Okay, you can also use an Azure function to you know uh, Azure function to connect to the provider API. Okay, to format the data, and once formatted, then you can post or push the data to the Microsoft Monitor API. So that is where also you can use a Azure function. Now, the fourth one is agent integration. So agent integration basically is done for real-time data integration, and that can be used with the Sentinel agent. And this enables on-prem data also can be pumped into Sentinel for further analysis. So in hybrid kind of a topology, you can also install an agent on the on-prem side, and you can push your data into the Sentinel area. Now, data in a non-standard format also can be extracted as a file using log analytics agent. This is another way of getting the information from different other sources in a file format. And once you have a file, you can always parse the data and convert into a required format and can be sent to Sentinel for further use. Okay, you can refer to the following link from the Microsoft, and you can have a look deeper into it actually. Now, the another capability Microsoft Azure is having is Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So this is also a managed cloud native application that is responsible to protect your platform. And this is a DevSecOps solution or a capability that enables security management even at code level across multi-cloud and multiple pipeline environments. Okay, so this solution also provides action against any security breach, and it also provides to prevent servers, containers, storage, databases, etc. So the use of Microsoft Defender for Cloud is very broad actually, and how to secure cloud applications using this one is this Defender for Cloud. It always gives you a 360-degree view or the visibility of your security posture. Okay, and it also recommends how to protect your threat. Okay, it also gives you a static and dynamic security view of your application. So it does, and it provides a security overview dashboard for connected resources using DevOps security in Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So I have extracted this kind of a dashboard from the following link from Microsoft, where you can always see like what are the severities of those vulnerabilities, like high, medium, low, and then code scan vulnerability is more on a static level versus vulnerability. Okay, in the code level, if secrets are exposed, or in the platform level, you can get a statistics out of that. It also gives you the recommendations. So if you go to the recommendations, then you will also get a knowledge of what you can modify or correct in terms of uh, the overview. Okay, so this is how it works. You can also refer the link below to get more idea about it. Coming to the last one is application insight. So application insight is an extension of Azure Monitor again, and it provides the application performance view at any point of time, the way the Defender dashboard provides. It also gives you more on a application level performance. It provides the health statistics of an underlying running applications, and it also gives you an idea more on the investigation front if there is an issue is occurring within the applications. Okay, it also stores application log data for any traceability, and it enables distributed traceability with log co-creation. Okay, so these are the main capabilities of application insights. Uh, how to use it? You can use an SDK from application code even outside cloud environment. You can use it from Azure portal. Okay, if you go to Azure portal, you can have an application inside option, and from there, if you go, you can deep dive more into different area within the application inside. You can build your own query, okay, and that can be used to check the possible requirements that you are looking for within your application. And you can use application map, which is the for me the best capability from application inside, where you can always get an overview of all the connecting applications to the core applications. Okay, and that will always give you an idea like where the failure is happening, and kind of hibernate or request response index, all these things you can get it from there. So application insight is also a very important and strong capability within Microsoft Azure that will provide you a holistic view of all the parameters of your application, basically. Okay, you can also refer the link in the below to get more about application insights. So yeah, so these are some additional capability like Azure Monitor and Azure Advisor. What is Azure Monitor? It works on top of activity log, basically. So activity log always works on a subscription level, Azure subscription level, and Azure Monitor always, deal with or work on top of that activity log, and it also work on top of resource logs. Okay, and that always within the resource group level. So subscription, then resource group, and then resources. Okay, so Azure Monitor always deals with activity log on subscription level and resource logs on resource group level. It helps to visualize and query data at any point of time to get an idea of the overall health. It also helps to create events alerts based on any defined rule or threshold. For example, let's say within the resource group, you have a virtual machine and you have a threshold set that if the CPU utilization is more than 80%, then you have to alert the user. Okay. So that is where these events alerts come into picture or comes into picture, where you can, create a event based on a threshold value. It also helps in auto scaling the resources based on a rule. So for example, let's say the same rule, if you try to apply that, if your utilization is more than 80%, then I want to spin out a second nodes, basically, or second VMs. So that is also a auto scaling rule you can apply on Azure Monitor. It can also be used to perform action based on a security event. So security event we have already discussed on the Sentinel. Similarly, you can also define some security events and alert the end user, basically. Now coming to Azure Advisor. Azure Advisor provides best practices to optimize in terms of reduce the deployments. Okay, so it provides a recommendation based on resource telemetry data, and what you can do with Azure Advisor, it gives you a proactive, actionable, and personalized best practices recommendation to improve the performance, security, reliability of the resources that you are running. And you can also reduce your overall spend based on the recommendation of the Azure Advisor. Okay, get get recommendation with proposed action in line as well. So basically, it also gives you or guides you how to optimize your environment based on the recommendation. Okay, so in a nutshell, it provides you performance recommendation, security, and the reliability perspective. It also helps you to optimize your cost. Okay, and it also helps you to provide guidance on how to optimizing those parameters. So that is what is Azure Advisor. You can also follow this link to get insight into Azure Advisor. That's it actually. So on overall, if you want to go through the security fundamental overview from Microsoft Azure, you can always follow the links. And for specific topics on the operations that we have already discussed, you can always follow the links in every slides I have already given you. So that's it for the day. Thank you and have a good day.